We all hear about the benefits of investing early because if you start in your 20s, you can set yourself up for a much wealthier future. But what if you didn't start investing in your 20s or 30s? What do you do then? This is what everybody says. Start investing, just put $100 a month in your early 20s, and with an average 10% return, by the time you're 65, you'll have over $1 million. Now let's pretend you didn't start investing in your 20s or 30s. Maybe you didn't know about investing or started a family early and had other responsibilities at the time. Let's assume you started at 45 and do the same thing, investing $100 a month with the same 10% return. By the time you're 65, you're not going to have $1 million. You're not going to have $500,000. You're not even going to have $250,000. You are going to have less than $100,000, nowhere near enough to live comfortably. Even if you double that to $200 a month, you'd still only have around $150,000. The reality is that many of us start our financial journeys late, but it's not too late to make a change. In today's video, I'm going to share my 10 top recommendations to get back on track, even if you're just starting your financial education journey. So let's get into these. The first step is simple but powerful. Accept that you're not alone and it's never too late to start. Nearly 28% of Americans have nothing saved for retirement, and 39% aren't even contributing to a retirement fund. If this sounds familiar, don't be too hard on yourself. The key is to recognize where you are and commit to moving forward. To do that, we need to shift our mindset. If you don't believe you can become wealthy, you never will. Your mindset directly influences your actions. So if you're sitting there and keep telling yourself you can't be financially free, that'll be your reality. If you have a broke mindset, you will never be able to have a wealthy bank account. I can't change that for you, but you can. So to help you get started, I'll link some of my favorite books on money in the description for you to check out and read. Next, it's time to take inventory of your situation. If you are 45 and in good health, you have 20 years until you're 65. If you are 55, you have 10 years. You can accomplish a lot in 10 to 20 years, or even just 5 years if you get intensely focused and have a plan of action. Remember, your greatest asset is your ability to earn an income. It's not about how much you make, but how much you keep. I've seen high income earners with little to no savings and people with modest incomes with these impressive nest eggs. The key is not letting your necessary expenses grow with your income. For example, if you currently bring home $4,000 a month and your necessary living expenses are $3,500, you have $500 in free cash flow. Let's say you get a promotion or change jobs and you now have a higher salary, bringing home $8,000 a month. Well, if you keep your necessary living expenses at $3,500, your free cash flow jumps to $4,500 a month, allowing you to save and invest more and pay off any debt. But what typically happens is we buy the new car or we buy a bigger house and we trap ourselves into a new higher monthly payment. Our car insurance goes up, furnishing the new house costs money, plus all the other costs that come with home ownership. And lo and behold, our necessary living expenses jump to $7,000 a month. This does not have to be the case if we regain control of our spending and fix it. Number 3 is know your numbers. We need to know where our money is going because you can't manage what you don't measure. This means tracking your cash flow, income, and expenses, otherwise known as a budget. Now, I understand nobody likes the word budget and many feel it's difficult to follow one, but I would suggest thinking about a budget differently. In its simplest form, it's knowing where your money is going and controlling where your money is going. Don't overthink it as being restrictive. See it as a tool to set yourself free. I included a link in the description below. You can download a free PDF template to help you get started with tracking the transactions. No email is needed. Just click the link and it should pop up for you. So I hope that will help you get started. Next is to commit to a 30-day spending audit. Make a commitment to track all spending for the next full month. Track every penny, but don't overcomplicate it. Use a spending app or print out your bank transactions for the month. Then the goal is to go through the transactions and identify waste and find opportunities to save. Number 5 is keep more of your own money. When you have clarity on how much income is coming in and where it is going every month, you will be empowered to make some changes. Start by creating your financial base. We need a solid foundation, just like building a house. Without a strong foundation, the house crumbles. So here are 2 things to focus on. Build up your emergency fund and stop spending money on things you don't need. Let's start with the emergency fund. This is money you can easily access and it's not invested in stocks. It's only for emergencies. Without this, an unexpected financial event can completely derail your plan. And what I've seen happen to most people is when something happens and they don't have an emergency fund, they end up swiping a credit card, take on a monthly credit card payment, and are stuck paying 20% in interest. So, a good rule of thumb is to save 3 to 6 months of expenses. If you don't like risk, save up to a year's worth of expenses, but don't go longer than that, and keep everything in a high interest savings account. Next, stop spending money on things you really don't need. You will find many of these transactions when you go through the 30-day spending audit. Some might even surprise you. I remember sitting down with someone and reviewing their expenses. They were able to save $200 a month just from not getting a Starbucks coffee once or twice a day on their way to work. So identify these unnecessary expenses and at the minimum, either reduce them or drop them completely. Number 6 is give your money a job. Every dollar you make needs a job. If you don't assign one, it'll get spent on something you don't even need. I recommend following a system to automate your finances and keep you on track. The easiest way to do this is to set up 3 bank accounts, one for spending, one for saving, and one for investing, and use the 75-15-10 plan. Every time you get paid, your money will flow through this funnel. 75% is the maximum you can spend, 15% is the minimum you invest, and save 10% until you have an emergency fund. Once you build your emergency fund, that 10% can go into investments or put towards any high interest debt. The goal is to have every dollar you earn flow through this funnel into the appropriate bank account because you don't want to commingle your money and accidentally spend your savings money or accidentally spend your investing money. So keep the 3 accounts separate to avoid making any mistakes. Number 7 is earn more money. Your ability to earn is your biggest asset. So think about ways to increase your income. If your paycheck is higher, that's more money you can add to your 3 buckets, which is more money you can invest and have compound over the next 10 to 20 years. Now, what are some ways to increase your income? This could mean asking for a raise, working overtime, or starting a side hustle. Now, starting a business may not be for everybody, but you have to know what's right for you. You have to be willing to try things, fail, and try again. Number 8 is plan to work longer. The traditional retirement age of 65 is outdated. We are living significantly longer nowadays, and 70 is the new 65. The odds that you or your spouse live into your 90s and beyond is statistically high, higher than most people think. Many are working into their 70s, often because they enjoy staying active, they love what they do, and they never want to stop learning. So if you're tired of your current job, consider transitioning into something you enjoy that doesn't feel like work. Or plan on retiring from your current job when you're ready and know what you're going to do next that doesn't feel like work but can still provide you with an income stream. Number 9 is improve your physical and mental health. An unhealthy lifestyle leads to disease, and disease brings with it huge financial costs. Investing in your health may be the most critical thing you can do, especially if you're serious about getting your financial future back on track, because it's not going to be easy. Depending on your situation, you may have to make drastic changes like selling your BMW to buy a less expensive car or downsizing your home because the costs and monthly payments are too high. These are big lifestyle changes that can mentally and physically drain you. But when you are fit, you will have more energy, which allows you to work longer, feel better, think more clearly, and simply enjoy life more. You are your greatest asset. Take care of yourself so you can be there for your family and make the most of your financial journey. And finally, prepare for when things go wrong. Life is unpredictable. If you don't have basic protections in place, you are leaving yourself exposed and financially vulnerable for when life throws you a curveball. You get sick or get injured and can't work, your business gets sued. These are all situations that could derail your entire financial life. So consider protecting yourself with life insurance, disability insurance, business insurance, etc. In many cases, you'll have basic protection provided to you through your employer, so get familiar with what's included in your employer benefits. And on a final note, make sure you get a will and get your estate planning in order so if something does happen to you, you can relieve a lot of the financial stress and burden off of your family. Remember, every small step adds up and it's never too late to make a positive change in your financial future. If you found this video helpful, subscribe to the channel and I'll see you on the next one.